welcome. I was still in our morning webinar in German. So welcome to our first webinar in 2023, Clean and Impregnate Correctly, Clean and Protect. Yeah, thank you for joining us in such a great number again. Yeah, as always in our webinars, Otello Piroti is behind the camera. When you have questions, just write them into the chat. He will answer them directly, or he will put them through to me and I will answer them live on show. And as always in our webinars, partly will be here on the screen, and a few things we will show practically on our application table. This time it will be a little bit more theory. The theoretical part will be a little bit bigger than usual, because today we don't want to talk too much about different products itself, but more about the techniques behind the right cleaning process and the right impregnation process, and what you have always to have in mind when you use one of these products. Yeah, as I said, if you have questions, just write them in the chat and we will answer them. Good. Cleaning, also cleaning. Something can also go with cleaning products. So first of all, on the right side, when you see here, for example, when you use a wrong cleaner on a sensitive stone, talking about marble, limestone, or terrazzo, when you take a very aggressive acidic cleaner, some stainings or some damage can happen. So you have to have this in mind when you have certain materials. Not all cleaners work there. Then you can apply too much cleaning product. The dilution will be not perfect, and you create a layer on the stone. And also the application tools are important for certain areas more than for others. For example, wall applications, you need to have special products and certain application tools. And we will task all this. Or we talk about all these cases, and in the second part of the webinar we'll talk about the proper way of using protective impregnators. First, the classification of generally cleaners, especially in the stone industry. We have 5 different chemical bases. We have acidic cleaners, pH 0 to 6. Where do I need them? Usually when I have, like, say, rust stainings, usually get removed by acidic cleaners. When I have concrete film, residues of grout material, usually use acidic cleaners, acidic products for that. Disinfectant cleaners to remove lime scale, of course. These are typical acidic products. Then we have neutral cleaners, pH 7. So neutral cleaners, they are not quite aggressive. Usually these products are used for maintenance purpose, so for daily or weekly cleaning process. Because our second part of the webinar is sealers, impregnators. So if you protect your stone proper, you don't need any of this strong chemical bases like alkaline or acidic. So usually you're fine with a pH 7 neutral cleaner. Then we have alkaline products. Where do I need those? For example, all the organic stain removals, like let's say marks from wood, marks from berries, for example, usually get removed by alkaline cleaners, or some residues of food, oil, grease. Usually here we are on the alkaline base. Then we have solvent-based products. Also this are special cleaners, for example, for deep oil stainings, which are very deep into the stone. You need where the water-based alkaline product cannot penetrate and work. We have some solvent-based products, or when you have to remove some certain adhesives, like our epoxy adhesives, for example, there you need some solvent-based cleaners, and alcohol-based cleaners are there as well, usually for tool cleaning and preparation of let's say stones which you want to impregnate, or for bonding, for example. We come to that later. Good. Then what you have to have in mind. Usually all cleaners can be used on all natural and artificial stones. Yeah. Nearly all, only acidic products. There you can only use them on acidic, acid-resistant surfaces. Of course, marble, limestone, terrazzo, concrete tiles, concrete slabs, cement slabs. There you should not use acidic cleaners, because if you use them, I showed you already some pictures and I will show you some more what can happen when you use this type of cleaners on the sensitive stone. So yeah, talking about it, this is what can happen. You can see here on the left side, this is a limestone floor, and there was the cleaner was dispensed through the bottle. They spread it on the floor. Also something what we don't recommend. Usually we always recommend put it into a container, in a bucket or such, and then apply it from there with a tool on the surface. And here you can see how exactly the cleaning personnel applied the product, and before he could wipe it, it itched the surface, destroyed the stone, and left these marks. Same happened here in the steam room. They used some strong acid here, and it causes all this salt crystals building and surface attack on this limestone. So just have it in mind. Not all, because it's stone, it's strong, it's hard. Not all cleaners work on all stones. So this you always have to have in mind. If you're not sure, just watch at the look at the bottle. Usually we write it always there. Don't use it on this or that material, because we get a lot of calls. Like in the next example, after I used your cleaner, I have some, let's say some patches on the stone. In this case, terrazzo. It does not shine anymore. The gloss is gone. Yeah, you can see here there was the original gloss, and they used some acidic cleaner. And you can see clearly this wipe marks here, where they use the mop or other cleaning devices to clean the surface of the floor. But yeah, as it took the stains or the dirt, it also took the gloss of the material and roughened the surface. So always have that in mind. Acidic-based cleaners, don't use them on marble, limestone, and terrazzo. Good. Then we have to also differentiate the three types of cleaners in between these 5 groups. We have basic cleaners. So basic cleaners, these are usually the first choice when you have, let's say, a stained surface, a stained floor, a stained countertop. You use a basic cleaner from us, from AKEMI. This is the stone cleaner. It's called like that, AKEMI stone cleaner. This is the alkaline basic cleaner, so that's a good thing. You can use it on all material. Here you don't have to worry about limestone or marble. The stone cleaner you can always use, and it takes care about, let's say 80% of standard dirt which you have on a floor after construction or on a countertop, you can remove with this stone cleaner, with this basic cleaners. Usually all products which I show you today and talk about are concentrates. So they are meant to be diluted. You usually don't need them in a fully concentration. You can always dilute them 1 to 3, 1 to 10, or 1 to 20 with water, for example. And then we have these groups of daily cleaners. So this is usually these pH neutral products. They don't have strong cleaning properties, but they're enough for a maintenance, for a good result when you use them on a regular basis. These are usually very high concentrated products, so you also have to dilute them quite high. So for example, our Crystal Clean, you have to dilute, you have to dilute at least 1 to 50, better 1 to 100. So out of 1 liter, you make like 100 liter cleaning solution. So they are quite efficient, and they are perfect for regular cleanings. And then we have the so-called stain removers, special cleaners. They are here for all, like say, organic stainings, special oil stainings. What else? Some rust stainings which you can remove, some concrete film which you have to remove. Here we are in the with this special cleaners. Okay, and what is the best way to find the right product? First, we have the stain guide on our website. Yeah, you can download it, print it out, or save it as a PDF. So here we have like about 50 typical stainings on the left side, and then we recommend always the right product on the right side. I put here a little bit of zoom, a little bit close up. Okay, here it's mostly goodbye stain, because yeah, this is all the organic stainings, berries, blood, blossom stains. So this can be really good removed with our goodbye stain. So always, yeah, consult the stain guy. Here you can find it on the service stain guide on our website. It's available in German and English. And yeah, if you cannot find your stain here, or you're not sure, because sometimes the stainings, they look alike. Yeah, you're not sure, is it like organic staining, some wood marks, or is it rust? Yeah, both of them, they look sometimes a little bit yellowish, brownish. So you can always send us pictures, and then we can talk and find the right product for your case. Good. Now we come for the important parameters, which we usually are mandatory for all cleaners. Yeah, this is not all the different products. They have special application instructions, yeah, working time, etc. But these next parameters which we are talking about, they are for all the different products the same. So usually a proper cleaning below 10 degrees Celsius is not possible. Yeah, this means the chemical reaction slows down the colder it gets, and you don't get a good result. This is important now. It's when you have the winter time, yeah, when I have an outdoor area and I want to clean it, yeah, right now is not the right time. Yeah, we have here, I think this morning it was like 3 degrees, maybe during the day it becomes like 12 degrees, 15 degrees. Yeah, so we always write stone and environment or ambient temperature. So that means maybe during the day I have already 15 degrees, not during night. I have maybe only 2, 3, 4 degrees. So I'm sure my stone will not be over 15 degrees during the day. It will not heat up. So always have in mind, also the stone temperature is important for a proper cleaning process. Of course, interior cleaning, usually you have an ambient temperature of 20 degrees. The stone is the same. So there's not so much a problem. But when it comes for outdoor application, always have in mind below 10 degrees stone temperature and ambient temperature, there's not a good result. Yes, and then product properties. For the application of the product, we have to follow this further steps. So how long does a cleaner have to work? So it does not work like in the TV shows or now in Instagram, where you apply it, you wipe it, and in 20 seconds all the stains are gone. It's not working like that. Everybody who had tackled a strong stain or some strong stained surfaces knows about it. Cleaners need time to work. Yeah, and this depends, of course, on the type of stainings and on the type of product. But usually 10 minutes is the minimum time you need a chemical product to let it react on the surface, on the stain, on the stone, to get a good result. And some products and some stainings require even application of 24 hours. Yeah, for example, you see it down there. This is a heavy rust-stained granite. And on rust staining, sometimes the application times needs to be like 1 hour, 2 hours, depends how deep the rust is inside the stone. Excuse me, how deep the rust is inside the stone to get a proper result. Because when you have some stones have iron minerals and they start to rust from inside out, and to reach them, also the cleaner needs time to go deep into the stone to get a good reaction. And especially on rust removal applications, sometimes you can leave it there for many hours to get a perfect result. So you cannot always wait that long to get to test and for full big area. to make a testing there. So what we recommend, make always a small sample area. Yeah, if you, especially if you don't know the stone, don't know your cleaner, if you have used it maybe the first time, and you're not aware of what type of stain or how strong the stain is really before you go on the big surface. So follow always the product instructions, but create a small sample area. Here you can check really the application time and of course the concentration, because as I said earlier, most of our products are concentrates. You don't need to use them pure. Usually you can dilute it, and then there is a little bit the detective work, Sherlock Holmes here, how much concentration I need. So usually I start with a little bit of lower concentration, so maybe 1 to 20 diluted. And if it's working, but I think it needs a little bit faster or stronger cleaning, then I make maybe 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 in the dilution when it comes to a let's say a basic cleaning. When does it make sense to pre-wet a surface? Because we always get this question, do I need to pre-wet the surface because before I apply the cleaner? And there's one good answer. Usually, generally, no. Do not wet the surface because we want the product to react on the stain. We want that it can have contact with the stain. If the stain is on the surface or if the stain is inside the stone, the cleaning product has to go directly to the stain and attack it, try to remove it. So do not wet the floor. Exception, there is one exception when you want to remove concrete layer or concrete film on flooring, for example. After they filled the grout with grout adhesive, sometimes these grout adhesives cement layers stay on the surface. So in this case, to remove that, you need strong acids, like our concrete film remover or our acid cleaner. And to remove, and these are strong acids, they have pH 1, so they're very acidic and they're very strong. And I don't want to have these strong chemicals inside the stone because there's no stain there. I only want to have the stain on the cleaner on top of the stone on this concrete layer. So in this case, I wet the surface, so the stone is absorbed with water. Also the grouts, usually they are cementitious grouts, are soaked with water. So when I later apply my concrete film remover, my acidic cleaner, it will not penetrate into the stone or into the grout, but only attack the concrete layer. Octello, I hear you writing and typing. Are there any questions?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Well, one interesting question is, for long application times, how do you not allow it to dry out? I mean, I think he means the product.
Okay. Yes, this is, let's say it cannot, nothing happen when it dries up. Yeah, it's like the temperature. When it becomes too low, it does not work. When it dries up, a cleaning product, usually it does not work anymore. It just sits there on the surface, does nothing. So we have to keep it wet. With the water-based cleaners, the alkaline and acidic cleaners, it's easy. You just spray a little bit water on the surface to keep it wet, or you add more product. These are the two possibilities. And of course, do not try to clean at noon time at the highest summer. A big surface there, you always will have a little bit problem. So try to do that in the mornings or afternoon hours or in the shade to clean this when it's outside. When it dries up, for example, too fast. So just keep the product a little bit wet, keep it running. So then you always have a good result. The next question is it necessary to clean after the dirt removal application time? Also here, one simple answer, yes, always. Because our cleaners, they are alkaline, solvent-based or acidic-based, and usually after the cleaning process, they don't disappear in nothing. So you have to wash them. Wash them off. First, it's better for the environment when you dilute them and you wash them off. And second, you can also get rid of all the dirt solution, because sometimes, yeah, you clean it, you remove it from the stone surface, but it's still in the dirt water solution on top of the surface. And when you just leave it there, it will dry up again and sit again on the surface. So always wash with a lot of water after your cleaning process. And there's one particular case where you not only have to wash with water, but there's one special, and when you used acidic cleaners, yeah, like acid cleaner, like strong acidic cleaners, or rust remover, or concrete film remover, you always should use, you should neutralize. So instead of only using water for washing the surface afterwards, you add a little bit of an alkaline basic cleaner, like our stone cleaner, to the bucket, yeah, a few drops, and then this alkaline product will neutralize the acid. So now the concentration is also important. As I said earlier, application time and concentration has to be determined by a sample area. So you don't waste time, yeah, cleaning a huge area with a low dilution and maybe short application time, and then you don't get a good result, and then you start again. So better make a small sample area, determine the dilution and the right application time. Because let's say, what can happen when you dilute it too much? Nothing really dangerous can happen. Yeah, it's just not getting clean proper. That's the only thing. You waste a little bit time because you have to do it again. But when you use it in a too high concentration, yeah, or maybe pure, some cleaners, like let's say some maintenance cleaners, daily cleaners, they usually have high concentrations, yeah, up to, as I said, up to 1 hour crystal clean, up to 1 to 100. And if you dilute them too little, they don't do what they should do. Usually maintenance cleaners, daily cleaners, you use them, you wet wipe your floor, the water evaporates very fast. It should be streak-free, not any lines. It should not create any layer after a while, and the surface is clean and dry after no time. But when you put too much of the cleaner, especially of this daily cleaners, into your water, something like this can happen. This was a client, he called us. I have this nice Nero Maquina floor, but after a while it looks yeah, matte. It does not shine anymore, and it's a little bit, I don't know, the appearance is a little bit cloudy. So what can we do? We want to repolish the floor. Then we went there and we looked a little bit closer, and we say, no, there's no need for repolish. Yeah, here is just a big layer of cleaning detergent on the surface, yeah, which does not was not removed or was applied in a too high concentration. So in this case, we said, no, the stone is just not happy. We need to remove this layer first to get rid of it. And then in this case, probably our stone cleaner, yeah, you remove this layer, and then you use the daily cleaner in the proper concentration, and use a daily cleaner for stone. Yeah, don't go to the Home Depot or to the supermarket. Just take any 101 daily cleaner. Usually, what have they inside? They smell good. Yeah, that's the first thing. Most of these cleaners, they smell good. So everybody thinks, this smells clean. Yeah, but everything what smells strong is perfume, and a perfume is usually perfume oils. So with every cleaning, and when you also overdose it, you bring oil on your stone surface. So you create layers. Then sometimes they have like this self-glossy or re-gloss particles inside, which should, let's say, give the stone a nice gloss in the end, or shine. But these are always waxes or something which you create layer by layer by layer, and then you have a result like that, all smears, cloudy. So use daily cleaners only made for natural stone, without any strong perfumes, and then you always will have a good result. Cleaning with only water is also not a perfect solution, because normal water on polished surfaces does not spread good. then you will have it will come together and then dry, let's say concentrated, and you have like the lime scale marks. So you need a little bit of a cleaning, a daily cleaner. Let's say usually we recommend for polished, fine honed surfaces, always our crystal clean in the proper dilution, then you always will have a perfect result. Good. Now we have had everything in mind. Temperature is good. The application properties we have studied on our label. We have done the right mock-up area, sample area. We have figured the right dilution. So now we need also a proper application tool, because usually on hard stains, mechanical support is always necessary and increases also the cleaning result. And yeah, you need less cleaner, you are faster, and you get really a perfect result when you support your cleaning process with a mechanical tool. Now, what are these tools? We recommend for large areas. One is this single disc machine, 17-inch single disc machine with some scrub pads. They are usually good. Also some scrub brushes on a stick or so. What we also have in our program, which is very effective, it's a scrub mop. Yeah, this is a microfiber mop. Also, we have it in a pad for hand application with some hard, strong nylon brushes in it. And this combination, the microfiber mop brings a lot of cleaning, cleaner and water on the surface. And with this nylon pad, you really scrub it. And with this microfiber cloth, you also absorb the dirt. Is a very effective way of cleaning. Because if you're not using something like that, you can have results like this. Here first, it is a wall. So here you also have to have in mind, when you use liquid products, they can run down. So for wall application, in this case, it was rust removal. We have also a rust remover paste. So this is a gel or paste which you can apply, which does not run down on the surface. But if you use a liquid product, then you have to apply and spread it evenly and homogeneously with a proper tool. So also these mops would be very effective for this, because they absorb a lot of liquid. You can apply them very easy on the wall. Here, I don't know what was used. I think a cloth or something which was soaked a little bit. Then you see here they clean proper. Here it gets less of cleaning inside, and a little bit here was squeezed. It runs down. So that's not a proper application. So here, when you use a right tool, you always get a better result and a more efficient result, also more efficient way of cleaning. So on how it is done, we have here a short video. This is the scrub mop, and also on flamed surfaces. This works very, very fine, because people are always surprised to use a mop on a flamed surface, on a rough surface. But because of this nylon brush, and you can see how it foams, it really comes also deep into the flamed surface, and you can really apply it in a proper way, and you get a lot of liquid on the surface. Yeah, because you need cleaner on your stone, and not like a little bit damp. Yeah, only a little bit wet. No, you need a proper application for a good result. And this is a proper way to do that. Now, we have now all in common, all have in mind, everything was proper done, the application tools also chosen wisely. Now we have to think on the last step, our environment. So usually we use strong cleaners on the stone, because we have sometimes also strong stains, rust remover, maybe some impregnation leftovers, which you have to remove with very high alkaline impregnation removers. So these are strong cleaning products. So just to have in mind, especially interior, when you use it interior, what is surrounding the area. If you have a countertop to clean, with some strong alkaline cleaner, maybe there was some impregnation went wrong, or some heavy oil stains, and you clean this, check your surroundings, put some plastic sheets there. There's wood, there's maybe some other painted cupboards or something, some lacquer cupboard, how you say, Otello, lackierte. some painted cupboards. So these strong cleaners can also remove some paint. So be aware of it. Yeah, we want to clean and not to damage. So just look at your surrounding, especially also when it comes to high concentrated acidic cleaners, when they have hydrochloric acid inside. Yeah, this is usually concrete film removers. They have hydrochloric acid inside, and hydrochloric acid is actually a gas which is dissolved into water, and it can, during the cleaning process, also evaporate again. And now this hydrochloric acid fumes, they can attack steel, and not only normal steel on metal, but also stainless steel. And if there's a lot of it in the air, they can start to let these metal objects start to form some rust on the surface. So have this in mind when you have interior concrete film to remove, for example. Maybe use a product without hydrochloric acid, like our acid cleaner. When it goes for outside application, there's a wind, the fumes are so fast evaporated and blown away, there's not an issue. But interior, always check your surroundings. Is there a lot of steel there? Are there some I don't know, from some chairs or some tables, some legs, some steel legs, for example? Just check the cleaner. Is there something strong, acidic? Is there maybe hydrochloric acid inside? Then don't use it there. Good. Yeah, now I go to the application table. First, are there any questions yet?
No questions for now.
No more questions. Okay. I think Otello typed a few in, so he
yes,
answered a
some
little
of them.
Okay, maybe they were too specific for the crowd here.
Yes, some of them were relatively specific,
Okay.
so I will find something for you. Don't worry.
So, okay, good. So yeah, I will not do cleaning here today, but I will show you the tools. Why? Because you saw when we talked later about our cleaning products, we said, yeah, usually you need at least like 10 minutes reaction time for proper cleaning, sometimes longer. So it will, yeah, be too long for today's webinar. But what I want to show you is this application scrub pad. Yeah, this is this microfiber bed, and this has this nylon brushes. I think you can see it better here on this mop. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, here, this small hairs, and they're very hard. This is hard nylon, and this is perfect when you really want to scrub your surface, to clean your surface. And this microfiber of the mop absorbs a lot of cleaning liquid, and you get a proper result. And then, yeah, of course, you can use it in with some pads holder and be quite effective and quite fast. Also, yeah, small brushes you can use like this, nylon brushes. Always use nylon. Don't use natural hair. Why? When you use a lot of strong alkaline cleaners or solvent-based cleaners, they can start to soften, to dissolve this natural hair and scrub brushes. There are a lot of in the market, but don't use them for the very strong chemical cleaners, because they will be dissolved, and then maybe you smear some brown stains again in your surface. So use nylon brushes. Okay, are there any questions for that?
Yes, one question is, how much water do I need to wash off the detergents? So I guess the cleaners.
Okay. Yes, how much water? Usually we said you always have to wash with water, but only acidic cleaners you have to neutralize. So let's talk first about all other cleaners. Wash as long as it's until it stops foaming. Yeah, usually in the cleaners there are tensilides in it, etc. And when you brush it and when you clean it, there's always like some foam on the surface. Wash and wet wipe as long as it foams, and when it stops foaming, you usually have removed all of the cleaner. This is important when you later on want to impregnate or apply a penetrating sealer, that there is no leftovers of the cleaners, of the tensilides on the surface. With the acid-based cleaner, yeah, the same, but add to the water just a few drops of a alkaline basic cleaner like our stone cleaner, and then wash the surface. No more questions? Thumbs up. Okay, then we go to our next topic. Now we clean the surfaces. Now we come for the correct application of our penetrating sealers, impregnators. Also here, there can be done a few mistakes. So please have in mind, usually it's only a few points you have to follow, which we'll talk about in a minute. But there are always some, guys out there, they are not following it, and then you get the results. Or sometimes it's not in your hands. Yeah, when there is some rain or there's some wet stone, it's not in your hands. But what you have to do then to get a proper result, I will explain a little bit later in this webinar. So first, what we have to do is we have to remove all dirt on the surface. The stone must be clean. Yeah, like here you see some construction dirt, maybe some oil, I don't know what, to clean the surface, remove all the stainings, because all stainings which you have not removed before the impregnation, it will be much harder to remove them afterwards, sometimes impossible, because what does an impregnation do? Impregnation blocks liquids from penetrating into the stone, or prevents liquids from penetrating in the stone. So also cleaners will not penetrate into the stone. How should they then get, let's say, some staining, some oil, etc., out when they cannot reach it? So clean the stone before you apply the impregnator. It should look homogeneous, even no visible stainings. No visible stainings, but there are also invisible stainings. And when you see these two types of stones here, these tiles, they look alike, both clean, homogeneous, no stainings. But then you apply, for example, a color intensifiers or a darkener impregnation, which enhances the color of the stone, and then suddenly you see, oh, there's something bad happening. To avoid that, we recommend, especially when it comes to expensive objects like tables, countertops, kitchen countertops, make a test or clean the surface first with our cleaner eye. This is an alcoholic cleaner. You apply it homogeneously on the whole surface. It has more effects. It has, I think, four different effects. First of all, it decreases. Yeah, it takes off, like, say, a little bit residues from fingerprints, etc., removes it. The second one is it removes, let's say, a little bit remaining humidity in the stone when it evaporates. The third thing is it makes invisible structures visible. Yeah, because usually the stone becomes dark when the cleaner eye is applied, and in some areas it does not get dark, for example. I will show it you here in this video. And then you see, whoa, something is happening there. Something is in the stone I have not seen before. You can see here, yeah, everything else, the cleaner eye goes inside the stone, yeah, wets it, gets dark, homogeneous surface, perfect result. So should the stone look. And here you see something, a light mark is coming. Or is forming. So when you now would apply here an impregnation or a darkening impregnator, darkening sealer, you will have this mark later on the stone, or you have not a good repellence effect because no impregnation can penetrate here, because also this alcoholic cleaner did not penetrate here. So something is wrong here. You have to make sure you get rid of it. So then we have to check what could it be. Yeah, it was not visible before. Maybe there's some leftovers of some transparent silicone sealant, what was smeared in the surface, then removed, but some particles still went in the stone, and yeah, stained it, but not visible, but later on you will see it. So first, then we have to clean. Yeah, and this could be a good test with the cleaner eye. we recommend it always on kitchen countertop, tables, vanity tops in the production. Do it clean first. As I said, you decrease, you take remaining humidity, you make invisible stainings visible, and it evaporates fast. So after 5 minutes, you can directly impregnate or apply your penetrating sealer. When it comes to floors, of course, yeah, you will not flood the floor with 100 square meter with liters of alcoholic cleaner. But here you should be aware when you do your basic cleaning first. Yeah, when you remove all the stainings, you make a basic cleaning with water and a stone cleaner, for example. Then also the stone gets dark. And when there is again some stone areas which don't get dark, you will see something is there. You say, okay, there's something in the surface which I should be aware of, and then attack that again, clean it with some silicone remover, etc. Yeah, of course, when you do it with water, you have to wait a longer period of time that the stone dries up proper. That's the advantage of an alcoholic cleaner. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later, it's dry already. Yeah. Here, this is good, homogeneous dark. You can use the impregnation. Here, something is happening, don't use it. And then I said it already, the stone must be dry. Yeah, because if the stone is not dry, something like this can happen. This actually can also happen when the stone was not impregnated or not used a penetrating sealer. These watermarks, they can always appear on the stone. If you see them, don't use any impregnation product, yeah, because this will only get a bad result. And maybe the stone was dry before you apply the impregnation, but then after maybe 1 hour, there was a heavy rain, and then the impregnation was not cured correctly already and proper, and then you have this type of stainings. So always have a little bit the weather forecast in mind when you do an outside application. Yeah, if you know, I have to do it this morning. Yeah, I have to use a impregnation this morning on the stairways or the terrace. I cannot go here another day because I don't know, I'm in the area only once a week or so, and I know in the afternoon there will be maybe some rain. So then you use a product, please, which has a very fast curing time. Yeah, there are some impregnations like our stain repel nano effect or our rapid impregnator. They form already a proper protection after 1, 2, 3 hours. Yeah, then you're already proper protected. Then a rain afterwards is not so critical. And then of course, if you work interior, yeah, I come to that case in the next slides. Yeah, this of course is not a dry stone. When it comes like that to the construction site, you install it. Yeah, the stone is not dry, definitely not. It was sit there for weeks probably, packed like that, so it's fully soaked. So here you also need a lot of time before you can use a impregnation on the floor. So how do I detect on the floor if the stone is dry? Because sometimes on the surface it looks dry, but it's not in the inside. A very easy way is just place a plastic foil, yeah, maybe 1 square meter, 10 square foot on the floor. Yeah, put some planks there, wooden planks, etc., that it does not fly away or get removed. And then wait overnight, 24 hours. And when you see there's some condensation happening here in the plastic foil. The stone becomes dark in some parts. Yeah, here's some condensation on the plastic. So this means there was still some humidity in the stone. It tries always to evaporate. Yeah, humidity in stone always tries to evaporate and goes out to the surface. And when it cannot, it will form something like that. When you see this is happening, your floor is still too wet to apply an impregnation. Yeah. This you don't have to do by yourself sometimes, because if your client is far away, you tell him, hey, please place a foil, a plastic foil, plastic sheet, 1, 2 square meters on 2 to 3 different parts when it's a huge area, for example, and check it tomorrow. Call me if there's everything clear. Yeah, no water, no condensation under the plastic. Then I will come and do the application of the impregnator. If not, we have to. But when you go with the flame, it starts to sweat. Yeah. Always take this 2-3 minutes for a countertop, especially in this time of the year. Use a flame, go there, clean it proper, dry it proper, that it looks like that. Then it also is, the temperature of the stone is good. Yeah, it's 20, 25 degree, perfect. The pores are a little bit open. It absorbs more impregnation later on, penetrating sealer. So always do that when your stone comes from outside into the workshop, or it was just cut yesterday and still was stocked in the workshop. Yeah, take this 2-3 minutes and a flame or a heat gun, but with a flame it's usually faster, and dry the stone until it does not form any water on the surface. Good. This was temperature. No, this was dry, but also temperature is important. The same with the cleaning. Temperature also in the impregnation is important. We say here between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius is the ideal temperature. Below 15, it does just not work. The impregnation does not cure proper. And of course, 25 degrees, most of the summers all around the world are hotter than 25 degrees, 30, 35 degrees. This is also possible. But then probably your impregnation will dry up quite fast. So when you see after 3, 4, 5 minutes it dries, then go a second coat, apply a second time, that you keep it wet. So this is the only thing what can happen when you go a little bit higher. Yeah, you have maybe to apply a second coat. Again, sample area, if you do not the product, if you do not the stone, if you want to show the client what a color enhancer, a darkening product can do, don't do it directly on the area. Yeah, do it in a non-visible area. Don't do it here, yeah, on this big countertop, only so a small edge. Do it, and then the client says, no, I don't like it. Remove it. Yeah, because then you have to bring out all the strong alkaline cleaners, the impregnation removers, the real chemical hard stuff to remove that. And we don't want it. So always use a separate piece of the same material, same surface, apply your impregnation, your color converter or color enhancer, and then show it to the client and say, this is what it could look like. Do you like it? Yes, good, then let's go for the whole surface. And always wait at least half day to a day to show the sample piece to your client, because we will do that now also. Even when you apply impregnation like our stainless nano effect or our pearl impregnator, which does not change the color of the stone, during application, it will look dark as well because the solvent penetrates into the stone. Yeah, and then makes it first darker, but the solvent evaporates again, and later on it will come back to the original color. Please show the stone or the sample after 1 day to your client. Yeah, and then again, right application tool. We talked about that. Here, somebody used a roller, which we do not recommend. Yeah, we see it a lot of times on the construction site. They use roller, but it's the same trying to paint a wall, you know, with a white color. It looks very nice in the evening when you're done. Yeah, you have done like 3, 4 rooms. You're very happy. Everything looks perfectly white. You come the next day, it dries up, and you see there's a little bit, yeah, a lot of patches there, uneven application. Because when you apply it fresh, everything is wet. The solvent went inside. It looks all dark maybe. But when the solvent dries up, then you realize, active ingredient was only applied here, not here. Yeah, not here. So roller, not recommended. Also a similar picture could result through a floor heating. Yeah, when you have a floor heating, always switch it off before you apply impregnation on the floor. Interior, yeah, usually they are installed interior. Switch it off before you apply impregnation. Here you see a typical roller application. You see here a lot of different mistakes. Yeah, first is, of course, we talked about a roller. The second is he applied the product directly on the stone. Also that we don't do. Why? Because especially with color converters or color enhancers and absorbent stone, something like this will happen. You see here they applied the product, here they apply the product, and then they start rolling out. And of course, when you move it away from the middle, it will get less concentrated and you get like a less good protection and a less good optical result. So don't pour the impregnation, the darkener, the color enhancer directly on the stone. Always put it in a container and then use the right application tool to apply it on the surface. And of course, the third mistake is probably the missing shoe here. Yeah, just joking. But yeah, also this is required to have proper footwork here when you apply solvent-based products. You should not step in it. Yeah, but more important for get a good result. This is a health issue. Yeah, but this is more a result issue. No roller and don't apply it directly on the stone. Always use a container. So what is the right application? Again, mops. Yeah. Microfiber mops, application mops, impregnation application mops are very, very effective to treat big surfaces with enough material, yeah, or sufficient material of impregnation, because this is also a mistake. Usually people apply to less than in a homogeneous way and in a fast way, because a good microfiber mop absorbs about half liter of impregnation, 500 milliliter of impregnation. There you can cover on polished, fine-honed surfaces at least 10, 15 square meters with one-time dipping. So you're also very fast. I will show it directly here in the next video. You can see here, yeah, with the mop, here's the square bucket. You put the impregnation in, you dip it in, and then you apply it. And it's just like wet wiping. Impregnation is not difficult when you follow a few rules. Yeah, again, here you can see it even better. And this is what I want to show here is the amount of product. Yeah, it should look like that. It should look wet. Yeah, there must be enough product on the surface. Why? Don't use it like half wet, maybe damp mopping only, because we want a proper result. And a proper result can only be created when there's enough product on the surface which can penetrate into the stone. And it takes a little bit time to penetrate into the stone. When you apply too less product, it will dry up too fast on the surface and then it will sit only on the surface. Yeah, it will look good the first 1 to 3 weeks, the impregnation, yeah, the protective effect, but later on it will be washed off or run off. So the product has to penetrate, and to penetrate, it must stay liquid. And for that reason, you need enough product on the surface. And again, a homogeneous application. And all this and all that can be achieved by a proper microfiber mop. The same for small areas, application tools, application pads, small of these sponge pads. This is a sponge with a combination of some small hairs. I will show it shortly. I call it always like an iron. Yeah, for ironing the clothes, it looks alike. So these are recommended for small areas, stairs, countertops, etc. Good. Questions, Otello, or I move to the application?
Yes, one question, but I think we can also answer it later, but I will ask it already. One viewer is asking, what should I do when my impregnator dries on top?
Yes, what should I do? Apply more impregnator. Yeah, what I said earlier, when it's too warm, yeah, we say 15 to 25 degrees Celsius is ideal. Of course, most areas in the world, we have more temperatures, especially in the summertime. So when you go to 30 degrees, 35 degrees, and it dries up too fast, it had no time to penetrate. Yeah, this is also, nothing big will happen, but you have no time to penetrate, so you will not have a good result. So apply a second coat in time. When you see it dries up in some certain areas, just dip the mop in. Yeah, it's very easy. Dip the mop in. We have these applications, this microfiber mops. They're really nice microfiber. They are thick, but not too thick. So they apply a lot, and they also move in rough surfaces, etc. So with that, you really can apply a lot of material in a short time. So then when it becomes too fast dry, apply a second coat. When it dries up later, we talk about it in a bit. So now I have here a few stone pieces and we will follow now our steps. First, we have here a stone piece, which was just stored outside, dry. Yeah, obviously dry. Maybe here you can see. Yeah, it looks nice and dry. But let's make our check with a flame. I have here a small flame burner. I go on the surface. Right, like this, yeah. And you see here, it's sweating. Yeah, there's water there. So this stone is too wet. Yeah, you can see that. Here is water on the surface. So we have to flame it proper to get rid of all the water. You have flame as long as the water is forming. When it stops forming, yeah, like here, now it's good. On this area, yeah, here, no more form, but here it starts to form again. So this must be done when you have like countertops, etc., and you pull them out, the pieces from outside to inside, and there's a temperature change. But in case of countertops, they're expensive materials, always heat them up 2-3 minutes. It's no time, and you're sure nothing is happening. Then the second test we have to do. Stone looks good, yeah, very homogeneous. This one the same, very homogeneous. So should be good for applying an impregnation. This is just a quartz, something. This is just a piece of stone. Yeah, here, this is not a stain, so I don't mean this. There's some minerals. Now what I do is I use cleaner eye to check if there is any hidden stain. And I want to clean it as well because I put my greasy finger. I had my sausage for lunch and I did not wash my hands proper. So my countertop is a little bit messed up. Clean it. So I do that. And I wait till everything becomes, hopefully, homogeneously dark. Now let's see here. Homogeneous, dark. Yeah. This is a proper surface. Everything becomes dark homogeneously. The cleaner eye, the alcoholic cleaner could penetrate inside. So I'm sure later on also impregnation will penetrate homogeneously inside. Now, again, it's drying up again already. Nope. Now I look at this piece and you see directly, you see here, yeah, some spots. They don't look homogeneous. Here you can see it better. Here the cleaner eye, the alcohol cleaning is not penetrating. So something is here. I don't know what. Maybe already some guy spilled some sealer there, some impregnation there, just wiped it something and did not tell anyone, some silicone sealant. I don't know what it is. I cannot use this stone for impregnation now. Now I should go for cleaning first, try to remove it, that it looks homogeneous. So we put this away. Now we take this one. And as I said, now we take a pearl impregnator. So this is a premium stain protection. So this protects against oil, grease, etc., food stuff, water. And it does not change the color of the stone too much, so only maybe a slightly, but usually not, especially on polished bright materials. So what do? I will not just put it on the stone. I always use a container. When I'm on the floor, I use a square bucket like that, or a smaller one like this one. When it's very small, on this area, I can use also something like this, like so for paints, like a small paint container. So I apply a little bit. And in this case, I could use also this pad, this microfiber pad, but yeah, this is a little bit too big for this small type. So this is perfect for stairways or countertops. And yeah, I use this small sponge pad here. I dip it in. Do we have an unused here as well? Tell I want to show, maybe not. We have? Okay. Yeah, let's apply first. I apply it, I dip it in a little bit. Here's some sponge, it will absorb. And now I apply the product. Yeah, passt. And you can see the stone directly becomes dark. I will also show it in the other camera in a bit. So let it move here. Yeah, I don't do everything. I do only a part of it. And you see in this case, there's foam forming. So some sealers do foam, some sealers do not foam. So this is not a sign of good or bad. This is just something that has to do with the formulation. Actually, it's not a bad habit that it foams, because when it foams like that, it stays longer liquid. Yeah, it's good. It does not evaporate so fast because this air bubble, this bubbles, stay a little bit more long on the surface. This depends. Yeah, for example, our darkener super does not foam. Pearl does foam, for example. So this is not good or bad. So this is the amount what I should apply. It should look wet to get a proper result. And here I will show you the dry pad. So in this case, you can see here's the sponge, and you have these small hairs. The sponge absorbs the impregnation. Yeah, and you can always squeeze a little bit. When you squeeze it on the surface, then you get more material out. And with these small hairs, you always reach deeper holes or deeper parts when you have, for example, a rough surface or a flamed and brushed surface. Of course, this is not for floors, but for countertops, etc. But also here, when you have like this flamed and brushed surfaces, to make sure in all the holes enough material gets in, this is the right tool for that. Yeah, do I have to show something more? Maybe here you can see it's really shining liquid. This is how it should look. Yeah, it should look very wet on the surface. This is the right amount, and it should not dry up in the first 2-3 minutes. We come to the removal in a bit. Are there more questions, Otello?
Yes, there's a frequent question actually, but it's good to ask this one. A viewer asked, is there a difference between impregnation and sealer?
Yeah, yes and no. On a chemical way, on a speech, or how do you say, linguistic way, there is differences. An impregnation penetrates into the stone. Yeah, does not leave a layer on the surface. A sealer actually is like a coating, like a lacquer, yeah, which leaves a film on the surface. So, but in the common language, all of these products are called sealer, and when they mean actually impregnator or impregnation, they usually say penetrating sealer. Yeah, so this is a sealer which penetrates and does not leave a layer on the surface. So actually there is a difference, but in the common language you cannot differentiate so exactly when they talk about a sealer what is actually meant. In the stone industry, I think 80%, probably 90%, the products are used are actually impregnations or penetrating sealers. Actual sealers, like one component acrylic sealers, usually these acrylic layers, which form a coating on the surface, are not so much used, and this is actual sealers. But it's a little bit, yeah, it's just a word thing. What is it, the difference? Tomato, yeah, I would say. So penetrating sealers and impregnators are the same. A sealer is something different. Sealer usually leaves a layer on it and also alters the appearance, yeah, more slippery, more glossy, etc. As penetrating sealer and impregnation does penetrate into the stone, does not leave a layer, and does not change the appearance of the stone. Good. More questions? No. Good. Now we have impregnated, penetrated, sealed correctly. Now, as I said, we have to make sure that nothing of the impregnation stays on the surface. So usually we say to get a good result, the application time should be at least 15 minutes. 15 minutes wet like it is right now. Of course, it's not always possible to keep that because if you have especially a rough, very absorbent stone, for example, a sandstone outside, a little bit warm, it's nearly impossible to keep it completely wet. But then at least to do 2 coats wet in wet. So you apply a good amount of product, then you see after 5 minutes it starts to dry up, then apply a second very wet amount of product, and then it's good. Then you leave it for about more 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then remove any excess which is visible on the surface. On rough stones, there will be not so much excess which is visible because it gets usually absorbed. On polished stone, fine-honed stones, dense stones, there will be a lot of excess, and this you have to remove. And what can you do? Again, you can use mops, but in this case, cotton, not microfiber. Use cotton mops. They absorb better the excess of the impregnation. And you can also use the single disc machine, the 17-inch machine with a pad to remove it. Or when it comes to a smaller area, you can also use a cotton cloth when it comes to countertops, for example. Like this here, it is still glossy and shiny, a lot of product liquid on the surface, and then dry it up with a cotton cloth. Yeah, because if not, and it dries up on the surface, not only for 10 minutes, but it dries up for a half day or next day, you can have this sticky surface. This will do 3 things. First, it looks not good. Second one, it's sticky. A lot of dirt will stick there. And the third one is, it will be slippery and it will alter the surface appearance. And if you have a non-slip requirement, like in public places, it will also block them. So make sure you remove the excess, that your stone comes up exactly the same way as it was before the application. Good. Now we are nearly on the end. Oh, this time we did a lot of talking. We over 60 minutes already. Give me 5 more minutes and then we're done. Now just to show you the differences between the impregnators, we have water-based products and we have solvent-based products. What are the differences? Usually water-based products, they don't smell as much. Yeah, so good when you have, let's say, public area which is in use and you have to protect or treat certain areas and you cannot, let's say, shut out the people, or it's some living room and the kitchen is next to it and the people want to use it. Then a water-based product could be better. On the other hand, a solvent-based product, it does not smell days. When you open the windows for 2 hours, usually the odor is gone. Another advantage is for water-based product, you can use them on still a little bit wet stones. Surface must be dry. So no water on the surface. But when you think, it could be still some remaining humidity inside the stone and you have to treat it today, then you could use a water-based product. Usually we recommend solvent-based product. And I think there are also 80% of the market are solvent-based. Why? They're better. You have a higher concentration of active ingredient inside. You have a better penetration, especially in extremely dense materials. And with the solvents, you can also play. Some solvents evaporate very fast, and some other products, some solvents evaporate very slow, so even slower than water. So when you have very dense stones, highly polished stones, you need time that the impregnation can penetrate inside. Sometimes more than 15 minutes. Yeah, we have our darkener super, for example. When you have a very compact, polished black stone, you want to make it more dark. Our darkener super, you can even leave it there for 60 minutes, that it really penetrates deep inside and makes a nice effect, and it will still be liquid enough to remove the excess after 60 minutes. So this is the advantage of the solvent-based products, and also the life. Yeah, usually they have a longer life. Then we have 3 different types of impregnations: water repellent products, hydrophobic products, usually used on facades where there's no other protection needed as water and dirt. Then we have water and oil repellent or foodstuff repellent impregnators, usually used dining rooms, kitchen, countertops, tables, etc., restaurants. And as I said, color intensifying products with oil effect, for example, or without, depending. When you want to enrich the color, you make a darker appearance of the stone, usually used on dark, rough stones. They lose a little bit of their nice color. To refresh that, to get that back, you take a color intensifier, and then you have a nice dark appearance. Good. So what have we learned? Is this a proper area to impregnate, to use a penetrating sealer? I think no. Why? You have here water marks, so there's definitely some humidity here. You have here some drops of oil. You have here some, I don't know what it is, humidity, salt, efflorescence, etc. Something is there and makes the stone very uneven, not homogeneous. Usually here on your checklist, no product application. Some people don't do that checklist. They start to impregnate. In this case, even a color intensifier. This is the result. Yeah, here it was a little bit dry, so the product could penetrate. Here you see the stone was wet, so the product could not penetrate. Here the stone was wet, the product could not penetrate. Yeah, when you think here, wet, not a good result, not a good result. Here you have like this efflorescence, salty patches. Yeah, and then if you see this and not all, let's say, woo, sirens go on, then I don't know what. Maybe you apply a second coat and then you have this result and also not good. So please have in mind, do your checklist, and then you can do a proper protection. Of course, outside is always difficult to block out the humidity all the time, especially humidity from underneath, because all the stainings here, this is not top humidity, top water, but it's rising humidity from the substrate, from the earth, from the gravel, from the concrete. And that's the reason we now, I think we wrote it also in our technical data sheets, we recommend for all of our penetrating sealers, impregnators, when you use them outsource, protect the moisture from rising. So protect the stone from the backside. There are 2 different ways to do that. There are water-based impregnators. We have this pre-protect. You protect the backside or all 6 sides. You can do that. Then you have also directly a water repellency on the surface, and then you can install it. This is good when you use it on a gravel bed, so on a loose laying installation. When it comes to a permanent laying, to a laying into a mortar bed and with a tile adhesive, we need a permanent blockade of humidity. We need a coating, yeah, and this is our anti-stain coating. This we recommend, and then you will also outside, sure, you always can use a sealer there. How does it look? Untreated. You can see here all the humidity here. This was a gravel bed, a loose installation. We removed it, cleaned the stone. In this case, it was still possible to clean them. We applied our pre-protect, put them back in, and you can see the difference. On a fixed installation, you can see here the stones, all they have this watermarks, this rising humidity coming up. You can never use an impregnation here. You will only damage the stone more or make this stains even more permanent. We ripped it out, backside protection with anti-stain, and now you get a perfect result. Why? This is so important because you can see here, both stones, we apply the same amount of water. The left side is untreated, the right side is treated with anti-stain coating on the back side, and we placed it in a on a wetted cotton or paper, and you see how fast it dries up. And more important, not that it dries up fast, it completely dries. Yeah, it's light color. Here it dries up also on the surface, but you can see there's more water pushing from the backside through the stone, and it will stay humid for a long, long time. And you will be never sure when it rained, if you can impregnate, when you can impregnate, maybe after 1 week, maybe after 2 weeks. Yeah, when you treated a stone, not like this here, no. When you treated a stone here on the backside, it rains. I give you 2 days of sun maximum, and you're sure the stone is completely dry, and you can use very safely impregnation. So enough talking, because I think this was the last slide. I think I go back to my treated stone, because we have to remove the remaining sealer. Yeah, I will do only a part of it. Maybe, yeah, we can go in the top camera. And I remove here the impregnation. Thank you. And I will also do partly that I can show it to you into the light, maybe in the top front camera. Yeah, always check in the light. Here, I cleaned the excess. You can still see a few marks here. That's on the polished surface. Always check the light. Yeah, use an angle where you can see, are there still any stripes there? Remove the excess. Here's still the excess there. Don't leave it there, remove it. Here I cleaned it up, so that's perfectly treated. Now it can rest, cure 1 hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, depending on the sealer, and you will have a perfect result. Good. Now we are in the end of our webinar, cleaning and protecting correctly, or how to protect and clean in the right way. Are there any more questions, Otello?
No more questions, but I have to say it was a hell of a typing. Thank you.
Good, thank you.